Captain James Walker stood at attention as the alien delegation boarded his ship, the ESS Resilient. The Varric were tall, insectoid beings with carapaces that shimmered with iridescent blues under the ship's lights. Their expressionless compound eyes swept the human crew with what humans had come to recognize as disdain. "Welcome aboard, Ambassador Trill," Walker said, extending his hand in the human custom. The lead Varric's mandibles clicked. "Captain," it acknowledged, ignoring the offered hand. "I trust this inspection will be brief. Your species' contribution to the Galactic Council remains questionable." Walker maintained his diplomatic smile. 3 years since first contact, and humanity still fought for respect among the stars. The Varric, with their quantum phase disruptors and gravitational manipulation technology, viewed Earth as barely more advanced than a pre-industrial civilization. "We prepared a tour of our armory," Walker said. "Admiral Thompson thought you might be interested in our defensive capabilities." Ambassador Trill's antennae twitched. "Very well." The delegation moved through the gleaming corridors of humanity's flagship. Lieutenant Emma Reed joined them outside the armory, her uniform crisp and her posture perfect. She was the ship's weapons specialist and historian. "Lieutenant Reed will showcase some of our military history alongside our current capabilities," Walker explained. Inside the armory, holographic displays showed the evolution of human weaponry, from stone axes to plasma rifles. The Varric delegates clicked to each other in their native language, universal translators picking up fragments like primitive and inefficient. Reed approached a secure display case. "This, Ambassador, is one of our most treasured historical weapons." She entered a code, and the case opened to reveal an ancient revolver, its metal worn but well-maintained. The wooden grip was darkened with age and use, and intricate engravings decorated the barrel. "A Colt single-action army revolver, circa 1873, Reed explained. "We call it the gun that won the West," a reference to the expansion of human civilization across our North American continent. Ambassador Trill's compound eyes focused on the antique. "You display this primitive chemical propellant weapon as if it holds value." Its mandibles clicked in what humans had learned was laughter. How quaint. The other Varric joined in, their clicking laughter filling the armory. One delegate approached, extending a multi-jointed appendage toward the revolver. "May I?" Reed hesitated but nodded. "Please be careful. It's over 400 years old." The Varric lifted the gun with obvious contempt. "Chemical propellant, metal projectile, manual loading mechanism. Your species used this for how long?" "That particular design for about 70 years, Reed answered, "but similar firearms for several centuries." The Varric passed the revolver among themselves, each taking turns to aim it mockingly at imaginary targets. "We developed past chemical weaponry 10,000 cycles ago," Trill said dismissively, "before your species had even discovered electricity." Walker noticed Reed's jaw tighten. "That may be, Ambassador, but there's something special about this particular weapon." Reed carefully took the revolver back. "This revolver belonged to Marshal Thomas Bennett. During a frontier conflict in 1879, he faced 7 armed adversaries with only this 6-shot weapon and survived." "Inefficient," a Varric delegate chittered. "One shot, one kill is basic mathematics." Reed smiled thinly. "Sometimes the value of a weapon isn't in its efficiency, but in what it represents." She turned the revolver, revealing notches carved into the wooden grip. "Each mark represents a life taken in defense of others. Marshal Bennett didn't glorify killing, he counted the cost." She returned the weapon to its case. "We keep these artifacts, not because they're technologically impressive, but because they remind us of our journey, our struggles." Ambassador Trill waved a dismissive appendage. "Sentimentality, a weakness unique to your kind." Walker stepped forward. "Perhaps, but it's served us well." He gestured to a nearby window, where Earth shone as a distant blue dot. 200 years ago, we were killing each other with weapons like that revolver. Now we're among the stars. After we gave you the technology, Trill reminded him. "You gave us faster-than-light travel," Walker corrected. "Everything else, our ships, our colonies, our place at the Galactic Council, we earned ourselves." The ship's alarms suddenly blared. Walker's communicator buzzed urgently. "Captain," came the voice of his first officer. Unidentified vessels approaching, 3 Krell warships. The Varric delegation stiffened. The Krell were aggressive expansionists who had been at war with the Varric for decades. "They're not supposed to be in this sector." Trill's mandibles clicked nervously. "Intentions?" Walker asked his first officer. "Hostile, weapons charged." Walker turned to Reed. "Battle stations. Escort our guests to the safe room." "Captain," Trill interjected, "our vessel is docked with yours. The Krell will destroy us both." "Not if we destroy them first," Walker replied, his voice calm. The Krell ships opened fire. The Resilient shuddered under the assault. "Their shields are too strong," reported the tactical officer. "Our energy weapons are barely making a dent." Walker looked at Reed, who nodded in understanding. She moved to a different section of the armory and unlocked another case. "What are you doing?" Trill demanded. Reed removed what looked like a crude metal cylinder. Sometimes old problems require old solutions. The tactical display showed the Krell ships moving into a triangular formation, a classic maneuver before delivering a finishing blow. Reed handed the cylinder to Walker. "Tungsten rod artillery, kinetic energy weapon. No energy signature for their shields to detect." Walker nodded grimly, like throwing a rock. Old human trick. The order was given. From hidden compartments on the Resilient's hull, simple rail vents fired unguided metal rods at incredible velocities. The Krell ships, their defenses calibrated for energy weapons, never detected the primitive attack until it was too late. The lead Krell ship shattered as the kinetic projectiles tore through its hull. The others broke formation in confusion. Ambassador Trill stared at the tactical display in shock. "Impossible." Walker turned to the ambassador. "Sometimes the old ways still have value." As the Resilient drove off the remaining Krell ships, Trill approached the display case holding the ancient revolver. Its compound eyes studied the weapon with newfound respect. "Perhaps," the ambassador admitted quietly, "we have been too quick to dismiss your history." Walker smiled. "There's wisdom in remembering where you came from, ambassador, even for species as advanced as yours." The revolver sat silently in its case, its worn grip bearing the marks of lives taken and saved. A simple tool that had outlived its maker to remind his descendants of lessons learned in blood and courage.